Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Ray Blanco. What's up,
Chattin,
man?
Staxx, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking
All
the
right,
time to come on my show.
man. It's an honor, man. I'm honored to be here, my guy.
Where were you born and raised, man?
I was born and raised in Elkhart, Indiana, about an hour from Chicago or so, in South Bend, like the Notre Dame area, I guess, basically. And it was nuts out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was nuts, depending on the type of life you want to live. You know what I mean? And the life that chose me, it was wild out there. It was wild, and I spent a lot of time in Chicago. Really, you know what I mean. It was just an hour away, so it's wild, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Were you getting into trouble at a young age?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
What
was
type of stuff? What type of stuff were you doing?
well, I was selling weed in sixth grade. I had a little thing selling some weed back in sixth grade, and that's like the first little hustle I had on or whatever. But me getting into trouble, bro, is a whole nother story, man. It's a whole nother angle because, man, my problem, I never lost control, man. I had too much control of the wrong shit. So yeah, it was wild out there, and yeah, I got in a lot of trouble, bro. I got stories out the ass I could tell you, and I got my packet to back it up, and ain't nobody viewing this that could ever tell me anything I'm saying is not 100% true and authentic about myself. I've seen the worst things. We'll just put it that way. We'll just put it that way.
So, what type of stuff did you go to prison for? What was the first thing you went to prison for?
Dealing back in 1999, my best friend, and I'm not gonna put him ass out on blast on here, but set me up to sell to a confidential informant on some goofy shit. He got in trouble on some check fraud. So he figured, oh, he'd bring me down, then he get out of his trouble with his shit. And that's how that started. So
Damn.
I was 19 then at the time right there. But I mean, I had been in and out of jail since I was 15, I'd say. But it didn't really get serious until then.
So that time when you walk into prison, what's it like for you when you go to prison that time?
It's the first time was an experience. First time was an experience, bro. I rode the motherfucking roller coaster in that place, and I got some stories that will blow your fucking mind. But
Well, let's hear it.
well, I mean, I don't know, bro. They're kind of coming out of left field with this, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I should build, but whatever. Okay, the first time was weird, bro, and I'm gonna just break it down like this. A old school dude. Uh, his name was Enoch. I'm not gonna say his last name or whatever, but he was acting funny around me, just acting weird, bro. And look, I'm schizophrenic, and I, I don't know. I see all of that.
Do you hear voices and
Sorry, do I hear voices?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's yeah, 9 of them actually at times. I'm being totally honest with you.
Wow.
I broke down and analyzed my internal system, and instead of it being chaos like everybody hears it as is chaos going on, I learned the pattern of it and what it's saying.
So
Yeah,
what do the voices tell you?
found a little bit of everything, man. They influence my life in a way that it's hard to explain unless you kind of understand me on a deeper level or whatever. But they're not like voices of chaos and all of this shit. It's like my entire existence being playing in surround sound, and I'm standing in the middle looking at it from all these different angles and whatever. So
I mean,
yeah,
does it tell you to do things?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. It'll be there, bro. I got one that'll say that shit ain't worth it no more. Like, let me erase you out of existence and quit pretending. You know what I'm saying? And then there's one that brings out the loner in me type. You know what I'm saying? The isolation in me. You know, and then there's the one that just sits back and records everything and watches everything. And then there's one that notices the patterns of everything, and that's where it comes in. It's like my life is just a big pattern. Everything is a pattern. So I detect the smallest type. You know what I'm saying? And they call it schizophrenia, but I feel like I'm tuned into a higher level in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the same way that people who communicate with spirits, they're on that frequency, maybe where they can communicate like that. You know what I'm saying? And just there's a different frequency, and they call it schizophrenia because they got to have a word for it. You know,
Do you take meds?
uh, I don't know if you can see behind me. I got a whole shelf full of meds, a whole thing of them. But my problem, unfortunately, is that I'm a creator, and that chaos is, if tuned in the right way, has a lot of benefits, and those medications just they cut that off. You know what I mean? And I can't do that. So
Yeah,
I
I see
learned to
your
exist.
website. Your website's pretty dope, man. The layout of it, everything. It's pretty well put together.
Thank you, my guy. I spent a lot of time developing my little business. I mean, I run everything in house, everything. Like Pimp C said, I write the rhyme, do the beat, the hook, and the mix. And if these records don't sell, I'm back to selling bricks. But
Yeah.
I do the whole thing, everything, the videos, the the recording, the mixing, the writing, the beats, the website, the visuals, everything. You know what I'm saying? It's my own little world.
That's
You
what
feel
I
me? And
do. I do everything myself, man.
that's
Everything
what's
is
up.
done by me.
That's what's up. Yep.
So
And I
when you
feel
were in
that's
prison, this guy started acting weird.
yeah,
What
yeah, we
happened
got off
with that?
track. We
Yeah.
got off track of that. I'm sorry, bro. I'm
It's all right.
sorry. I got on. That's when I burnt my pant leg. But all right, but yeah, okay. Anyway, I was talking about detecting frequency, whatever, man. But something in him wasn't right. Something, you know what I'm saying? I just it wasn't. It was some was wrong there. You feel me? So, anyways, make a long story short, I'm in the shower and ain't nobody else in there because a lot of times you can get in the shower by yourself. It ain't gator pits and all that shit. Ain't nothing like that most of the time. But anyway, I'm in the shower and all of a sudden this motherfucker come in there with a thing and held it like right. I don't know why he held it to my stomach. You know what I'm saying? If I was him, I would have put it in my throat or something. But anyway, but he comes around me. I'm in the shower, like whatever, standing like this, and he just sneaks around me and puts the thing in my stomach. And I got a little necklace on me, but it's got my thing hanging right here. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So it's just hanging around my neck if I'm in whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he does this, whatever, blah blah blah. So I get it. I can rip it off my neck because it ain't on a strong thing. And I ain't gonna lie, I went in on him, bro. I put holes in that mother straight up. It was the day after Vince Young was in the won the national championship. It was 2006 or whatever. It was the day after that, anyways. But I mean, it was over with, and of course, that leads to problems. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was justified in a way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's he didn't die. I didn't kill the dude. I ain't saying that. He didn't die. He lived. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no stone cold killer, none of that shit. But uh, they put me then in segregation pending investigation, yada yada, whatever, whatever. Because
Did they found the knife you had?
Oh hell no. Oh hell no.
They
They
find
they didn't
his?
find none of that. None of that. Hell yeah, that motherfucker laying right there with it. What you think I'm gonna do? Pick it up and leave with it too?
No, hell no.
Hell no. That motherfucker. There you go. But I was gone. I mean, they didn't run in on me. It wasn't nothing
Oh,
like that.
you left and they kind of figured
I
out
mean,
who it
it was
was.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just yeah. I mean, it motherfucker laying in the motherfucking shower leaking, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and it all comes back.
And
But
this is in Indiana, right? Indiana
yes,
prison.
Indiana. Yeah, yeah. This is in Westville Correctional Facility in Indiana.
Is it predominantly who is it predominant in the prison? Is it white, black?
It's predominantly black. It's predominantly black. But I mean, that's what I grew. That's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm black. I'm not saying, but that's who I'm comfortable with. I
Yeah,
mean, comfortable in that
you've
environment.
been around black people
That's
for a long time.
I mean, yeah, put it. I mean, yeah, but it was normal to me. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I mean, I would you telling me you was in the gang shit and whatever, and I was too heavy in it. I ain't getting on here set tripping and doing none of that shit, but I got my stripes. You know what I'm saying? I don't run. I don't run with no little, suck a duck ass something. I mean, I check my package, but
So when
uh,
they get after that happens in the shower, what transpires? They put you in seg.
yeah,
There's
they
a
put
big
me in seg
investigation, right?
pending investigation. Yes, because like I said, they knew what happened, but whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna run up to him and say, yeah, I him because he was gonna try to fucking me or say, hell no, I ain't nobody. Fuck you talking about? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't know nothing about none of this. Whatever. But they put it back. I mean, it didn't take long. They got cameras and all that. But I was in SEG for about 3 months or whatever. And that was the first time I've ever been completely alone with my mind. And you probably don't understand even what I mean by that at the time. But
I know exactly what you mean because I've been
yeah,
there, you know?
yeah. But I mean, I don't know. My mind is like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I'm standing here and it's like a symphony around me. This is my life going on, being explained to me around here. And I'm standing here in the middle of this. You know what I'm saying? Analyzing it from all different angles or whatever. But it's, I don't know. I don't know. It's on some high level. But anyway, I'm sitting in segregation on this. And this get to me, bro, because I never been in my head like that before. Because I've always had the outs and all of that, which have always been necessary. That's one time I never did, and that's the lowest. That was the lowest time in my life because of mentally and look at where I was at and all of that like that. But I learned a lot in that 3 months about you learn when you're stuck with you, nothing but you, your thoughts and
Yeah.
maybe a book every 2 or 3 days to come around, you know what I'm saying? And when you're already in your head times 10 anyways. So I learned a lot though from that. And that changed me in a lot of ways. That 3 months in segregation changed me. Like it was like a, it, I became a different me after that for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like it feel like you can survive anything. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just a different person that comes out of that after that. So it is what it is. And I like I said, I get out of there after 3 months or whatever.
You get found guilty, right?
Uh no, no, I mean no, because they never caught me with any, you know what I'm saying? They don't have any of that on camera. It was in the shower, you know what I'm saying? All they have is just me, the last one walking out of there. You know what I'm saying? He was the one walking in there. I was the only one that ever walked out. So, you know what I'm saying? Hell
Yeah.
no, they didn't ever find no. I had my shit, and that shit was that shit was gone. I ain't nothing about that. But it took 3 months to get there. Basically, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
took 3 months for whatever. So, but yeah, and things changed right there. And I was young still at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was 23 at that time when
But the
that. So I'm
word's
still
getting
young.
around the prison about what happened, right?
Well, yeah, course,
Like,
absolutely.
yo,
I
you
mean,
don't test him, he'll fucking do it
yeah.
to you.
I mean, yeah. It don't get around like you think it would, though. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit happens a lot. You know what I mean? It's not like that was just something big, something different. I mean, that should be happening a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if
So it
he would
really
have
was.
passed away, it would have been a little different, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been. It would have been. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's in there and he got his because, like I said, his was still in there with him. So it was all looking back. I mean, they wasn't gonna be able to find me guilty if it went to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's just look at, but they can say, hey, we'll take 3 months to figure this shit out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's about what they did.
So where did it go from there? Where did your life go from there?
Okay, well, let's see. Well, I get out of prison and I'm able to, after about like 2.5 months, I'm able to get my daughters, uh, because they was with their mom or whatever while I was gone, and she was fucking up, like fucking up bad. So I was able to get them like when I was 2 months out or whatever, you know what I mean? So that was great. That began another stage in my life right there. And then I spent years raising both my daughters, just myself. It was just me doing it. And that was on top of everything else, living this life that I've had to live. And
But do you feel conflicted having kids and then living that type of life?
I mean,
But you're just doing what you got to do, right?
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even want to say that's cliche to say I'm just doing what I got to do. But you know what I mean? Everybody wants to look down on something like that. But how many motherfuckers is really going to go out there every day knowingly risking their lives to make sure the bills are paid and doing that? How many motherfuckers are really going to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I might not be doing it the right way, but God damn it, my nuts is bigger. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing every day to get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it from that end right there.
Yeah.
And you know, and I've never really been provided opportunities. You know what I'm saying, to show what I'm made of. You feel me? Because of just whatever. So yeah, I don't know. We was there. I was raising them for some years, and I mean, I had to pay the bills, so lived them two lives. But I never crossed them. Like nobody ever came to the house. Nobody. It was me and them at the house. No, wasn't coming over there. They didn't even know where I lived in Mishawaka at the time, and they was in Elkhart. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't even know where I live. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I kept it separate. I was able to separate it like that, but that still doesn't make it the fact that it's doesn't lower the risk, or it doesn't, you know what I mean, cause its own complications. And then I'm in like whoa. I mean, I'm talking like eating 20, 30 perks a day. I mean, this was back in like, I want to say 2010 is about the time period I'm talking about right now. So it was a little bit different. It was more readily available. You know what I mean? Than like what it
Yeah.
is now. But I mean, crazy on perks and syrup and Xannies and that thing. You know what I mean? And all day long, one would feed the other. You know what I mean? I'd have to eat the pills to wake up to feel human, and then I'd need some to get the mind going, so it's stirring. So now I feel good. Now my mind's going too. But then once that gets old, you got to be able to come down. So you eat a few Xanax. You know what I'm saying? So you don't turn into some twacked out zombie. You know what I mean? And it's a cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you also trying to raise two kids at the time, making sure I'm there walking them to school every morning for real. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll tell you. I mean, I'm
So
not capping.
during your time selling, did people ever try to rob you?
Uh, yeah, but it never went to fruition. You know what I'm saying? They never nobody ever stuck a pistol to my head, and right, it ain't never happened. It ain't never happened. I'm not saying that that's saying anything about me, I'm just saying it ain't never happened. It's been the other way. You know what I mean? And that's how I had to. I mean, that's how I had to get down while I was raising the kids, because I couldn't be selling with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Because either I'm running back and forth all the time, or I got people coming at the house and all that. And I was trying to not let it mix. So, you know, the next best thing is just some quiet, calculated moves every, you know what I'm saying, so often, and everything's cool. So that's what I did.
Walk me through a situation.